So this is a follow-up to my last video that's, well, it's uploading now. I wanted to go a little bit more into Donald Cameron. He was somebody involved with the CIA and even Nuremberg, yes. But I wanted to show this as well, how Harvard University, but most of your universities know Moral Compass. September 2019, why they want to put implants in people. Now, what has been shown with these people, obviously, is that because they don't do any of their research ethically, and then they are the ones to go on and write the papers and peer-reviewed, and more importantly, set the standard of care in psychiatry, in healthcare, in nurse, whatever it is, okay, then these are the same damn people that have the mindset of Nazis. They do. And the people, even the ones in today's time, okay, that run the organizations, they've been trained in that. Not to be a Nazi. They just, again, it's the indoctrination. It is. It's why I've said it's why the higher educated can't step outside their box. Because this is all history that I'm talking about. So, but this would make sense. If they can put something in your brain to control you, then they would love to do that to people. Because everything was about wanting to control people. It's the same thing they did during Nazi Germany. The sick idea. It's just sick people that I don't know, become too expert and write too many books or write too many peer-reviewed or journals for the American Medical Journal and never ever seem to be able to look at how crazy they are themselves. Just saying. So this is a little bit more about Donald Cameron. So I read this in my last video. This part, I'm not going to read it now, but this is about Donald Cameron a little bit more. He said, if we can succeed in inventing means of changing their attitudes and beliefs, he's referring to Germans, we shall find ourselves in possession of measures which, if wisely used, may be employed in freeing ourselves from their attitudes and beliefs in other fields which have greatly contributed to the instability of our period by their holding up progress. This was Cameron on the Germans in Life is for Living. This is a man that couldn't even see how everything he did was unethical. I mean, it came up in a hearing. Seriously, he couldn't even see his own unethical behavior, yet would write this. It's really twisted, really twisted. Germans and their genetic determination. Those Germans affected by the events that led to World War II were of utmost concern. Cameron's concerns extended to his policies determining who should have children and advance to positions of authority. According to Cameron's psychiatric analysis of the German people, they were not suitable to have children or hold positions of authority because of a genetic tendency to organize society in a way that fostered fearsome aggression and would lead to war rather than peace. No, it's people like him making these statements. You can tell just by me reading that. That's that Nazi mindset. He couldn't even see he had it. That fostered fearsome and would lead to war rather than peace. He would repeatedly use the German as the archetypal character structure on which to ground most psychologically deviant humans. Couldn't even see that he was deviant. Although society had established sanctions against the spread of infectious diseases, Cameron wanted to extend the concept of contagion to chronic anxiety. He argued that people with mental illnesses could spread and transmit their diseases. He warned that government institutions should take measures against such potential liabilities. Cameron began to base some of his notions on race, of course, as is seen in his theories regarding the German people. So then it's no wonder that we still, to this day, okay, so, he was heading up American Psychiatric Association. What came from American Psychiatric Association? American Medical Association. And they're doing the same thing today. While they stand on this grand idea because they have no insight into themselves, that they are They're the ones that are not racist, and they're going to tell you how not to be racist, and they're going to talk about systemic racism. Everything they've learned has come from people like this. He's not the only one. He just was very on all of it. He went all the way to the World Psychiatric Association. That's what shaped much of this. So then that just gets handed down. And to tell these people no, because of all those degrees, because of the 15, I keep saying it, because of the 15 damn letters they have after their name, they will not step outside their box for 5 minutes to see, no, you have been controlled. The very fact that you cannot see that it's wrong to do transgenderism on children is unbelievably sick. But the very fact that you can't even see your own racism is worse. And it means you should not be in leadership positions. And maybe it's not your fault, but at least resign. But you got on, and these are all the same associations that got on board with the UN. Mental contagion. Well, in a way, we do. It's like a mind virus. But yeah, you don't want to be taking the directions from this. In the late 1940s, Cameron presented his ideas in a lecture entitled Dangerous Men and Women, and based it on personality types. I'm not going to get into all that. You can look it up. And get this one. Aziz al-Abab, a torture expert affiliated with Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a terrorist organization who studied, and I mean, they're the government in Lebanon, who studied and replicated some of Cameron's torture techniques. Yeah, because he was involved in all that. Yet he writes about how best to have society be, sort of like what their associations of medicine are doing now, trying to decide everybody's racist, but they can't even see their own racism, because they came out in 2020 and said, yeah, we stand with BLM, the terrorist organization. Like, can't even, the amount of just, something has happened to these people. I don't know. So just so people understand here, Association of Medical Superintendents of American Institutions for the Insane. Yes, the Association of Medical Superintendents of American Institutions for the Insane, also known as the Superintendents Association, was organized in Philadelphia in October 1844 at a meeting of 13 superintendents, making it the first professional medical specialty organization in the U.S. Yep. The objectives of the association were to communicate their experiences to each other, cooperate in collecting statistical evidence and analysis, and set the standard of care. Yeah, that's the reason why it's in the toilet, the standard of care. The American Medical Association was organized in 1847 in Philadelphia through the efforts of Nathan Davis and Nathaniel Chapman, primarily to deal with the lack of regulations and standards in medical education. Yeah. Little bit more. Yeah, at the very top there it says American Psychiatric Association, just like the Nursing Association, just like the Medical Association, the Hospital Association, the Teachers Association, everyone all tied to the global. So I said before, American Nurses Association ties to the Global Nurses United. That ties to your International Nurse Council at the UN. The people that decided to get on board with a bunch of terrorist organizations and communist countries, as I continue to say. So all higher educated. So I don't know how smart it is to be higher educated, because it doesn't seem like that any of them can see the error of the ways and the path and direction they're taking people down. And this, I know it's hard to see, but it does say American Psychiatric Association. You go look at yourself. I just wanted to give a little blip here. Yes, this was 2020. They support access to affirming and supportive treatment for trans and gender diverse youth and their families, including appropriate mental health services when indicated. Yeah, so that right there, they have disregarded science of the frontal lobe. I still to this day have not heard any medical professional. I can't be the only one that learned about the frontal lobe. I mean, we know it. Again, it's why we don't let kids drink. We don't let them drive. It's the reason we don't let, a 10-year-old just, here's the keys, take the car. I mean, so why do we let them do all this? But they put all these pretty words around it because they're too higher educated, and then everybody believes they're bullshit.